Hello, everyone. Mike Ballantyne here, and welcome to the Week 3 edition of the Sports Pulpit. This is episode 4. This week's topic is the NFL Supplemental Draft. Now, yes, I used to stand behind a pulpit and deliver messages all the time. And those people who are tuning into this that know me know that I love to do series from behind that pulpit. It's hard to go in depth and teach you, the congregation, something new when you've only got 10 or 15 minutes. But at the same time, I know that attention span doesn't last much longer than that for most of you. And so the facts are, this has inspired the Sports Pulpit. Something I can give to you in a short form podcast, 4 or 5 days in a row, splitting things up into 10 or so minutes. And when it all is said and done, and you listen or watch all the episodes, you'll get a good sense of what the actual topic is. And that allows me to dive deep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do this. Because you heard me right. 5 short form podcasts this week. So to ensure that you don't miss any of them, subscribe to our channel, All Gloves Off Sports Media, where you can get an absolute ton of great sports content, like the Red Hot Reds podcast, Minor League Mondays, which, by the way, happen on Mondays. Football with Cheese is here, the Lights Out Sports podcast where Cheese and I get together every Tuesday night. And our 2 new podcasts, the wrestling show that we've got now called Cheap Pop Society, which may have the best music in all of podcasting, and the bearded one, Mr. First Down, now is with us with his show, Fanboys Unleashed. So, with that being said, and knowing that it's free to do so, subscribe, make that bell ring, and like our programming. And why don't you do this? How about you talk us up by sharing our great sports content on your social media accounts with all of your friends? We would love that. Is gambling ruining sports? Let's dive into that. According to Tom Pellisario on the Rich Eisen show the other day, Brandon Sorsby realized that he had a problem and he checked himself into a treatment facility for gambling addiction. And he's expected to remain there for approximately 5 weeks. But when teams are evaluating him as their most important player on the field, he's a quarterback, and the one you are soon going to have to invest $50+ million in. This is not like alcohol or drug addiction, because both of those have plenty of research and development. Gambling does not. It's recently gotten into sports like this. So, do we know what exactly it takes to stop a person from never gambling again? It also seems like 5 or 6 years ago, kind of follow the old man here for a moment, right? Marijuana was never going to be accepted. And I can remember in my lifetime, 10, 12 years ago, maybe 15 at the most, when tattoos seemed like they were never going to be accepted. There were certain jobs, ladies and gentlemen, that you couldn't have if you had a visual tattoo. And some of them didn't pay jack, but it was just the way it was. And now, no one cares. And both are not only accepted, but both of them are borderline just overlooked. Gambling is public, and it's much more harder to keep quiet. Will gambling be looked at before too long as just another form of entertainment? Like fantasy sports? Will all athletes have a gambling profile, and as long as that athlete is not bet on either their sport or they've not bet on a team that they've played for, will it then be accepted as just another form of entertainment? Then there is this school of thought. Should a player be rewarded for breaking obvious rules? Sorsby knew what he was doing, and you can't tell me that he didn't know what he was doing was wrong, especially betting on his own team while he was the quarterback for that team in Indiana. And being the quarterback of that team, he had a direct effect on the outcome. Plus, the rumor, let me say, not verified, rumor is that he made over 10,000 bets. Not $10,000 worth of bets, but 10,000 individual bets. They supposedly have pictures and transactions where he was at multiple Cincinnati Reds games, while he was also at the University of Cincinnati, betting on pitches. Pitches, guys, pitches. I'm sorry, but if you're betting on pitches, if you're sitting there in the stands with your phone and that's what you're doing is betting on pitches, you got a problem. But then, who do you blame? The athlete for placing the bet? The NFL team for saying your talent outweighs the risk, and even though you have gone unpunished for all your mistakes, we still want to reward you, but we also expect that you never do it again. Did you hear you're not held accountable, but we want a different result? Did you hear that in my voice? Just making sure. Do you blame the lawyers who make sure the athlete doesn't get punished? Do you blame the NCAA, the NFL? Well, my point is that there is a lot of blame to go around. Guys and gals, if I go into a casino, I would expect to find a sports book. If I go to a baseball game or a football game or a soccer match, should I expect to find sports books there? How easy is it to bet on your computer and your laptop and your phone? And for God's sake, how many different apps do you need to place a bet? How many billboards and advertisements all over outfield walls and ring mats and turnbuckles and Titantrons and sponsorships and all of this other stuff do you see gambling related materials on, especially when it comes to sports? And for some reason, everybody thinks these two lanes aren't going to cross and nothing bad's going to happen? Come on, let's be realistic here. Here's the ultimate question. Is the money teams are making off of these types of ventures worth the destruction it's going to cost for their athletes? Personally, my answer is no. What's yours? Comment down below. Let me know how you feel. Like, subscribe, do all of those things we talked about in the beginning. And remember what the great Ernie Banks said. The only way that you're going to know that you're a good sport is that you have to lose.